Hello, book lovers and lovers of shirtless dudes. I'm Ben Bauer, and this is Shirtless Dudes Book Club. Awesome. I'm super excited today. I have a friend with me today he's hilarious. He has a web series that you should definitely check out if you haven't already. It's called Last Will and Testicle, which is not it's not like a nudie thing. It's actually about something very real. It's about struggle with testicular cancer and dealing with that, but it's done in a hilarious way, and it's super funny, and I'm so excited to bring him out right now. My good friend Byron Lane!
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
So, this is amazing.
This is so fun.
This is amazing. I wish everyone could see what's happening.
There's lights, there's
running,
camera, there's action.
Screaming.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a situation
it's
and a half.
It's really cool.
So Byron, tell the people watching about your show, Last Will and Testicle.
So I had testicular cancer in August, and
Bummer.
And so I decided to do a web series about it. So I wrote something really quick and called a bunch of friends and was like, hey, I've got this cancer thing. And everyone's like, cancer? Sure, we'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
A+.
So people jumped on board and we shot something, and I don't know, it was really a really cool experience.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you guys, it's really funny. It's got like Drew Droby's in it.
Drew Droby.
Sam Pancake.
Beth Grant from the Minty Project. Jonathan Van Ness from Game of Thrones on.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Lots of like really funny people.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And a second season is coming out.
Yes, I'm in the middle of
soon.
editing that now. I keep tweeting pictures of myself editing to stretch it out.
Just be like, FYI, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that is happening.
But hopefully in a couple weeks, and then we're hearing from some film festivals, so we got in some
Amazing.
festivals. Yeah.
That's super exciting.
I know, I can't believe
exciting.
it. I'll call because they ripped a testicle out. A cancerous, nasty testicle.
See you later, testicles.
Bye.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of town. Well, that's really exciting.
Yeah, thanks.
Shall we start talking books?
Yes. Does that mean I do this?
That means we both do this.
Things are happening.
And I love that we both wore shirts with buttons.
I had to
like we can
thing out.
Like we can slow it down.
Oh,
no, sorry, we won't do any of that. But
yay!
Get out of here, shirt.
I'm representing a sort of traditional body type.
Fantastic. We are equal opportunity as far as body types.
I feel good about that. And I love, by the way, what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's such a fun mix of like real life and a little sexy.
Just a little.
And a little smart.
I mean, the hope is you come for the shirtless, you stay for the books. Maybe you learn something about yourself, about us.
And what a great book.
Beautiful. Yeah, what a great book. Neither of us actually have a copy, so BRB.
I have mine all marked from my favorite.
Such like a good student.
I've gone through. It's brown from being old. Yours is brand new.
Mine is brand new. Well, because
things underlined.
So the book this week, the book that we are reading is Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google it, and I still didn't know.
I'm not sure.
I used to always say Palahniuk.
Yeah.
Palahniuk. Nah, whatever. Now you know. If you take nothing else from this, it's Palahniuk.
And he's a genius. He wrote so many great Fight Club.
Genius.
So many great things.
Choke, Lullaby.
Yeah.
Haven't read any of those, but I'm going to now because this was so messed up. So for the folks watching at home, I ask 4 questions of our guests. And the first one is, please, for those who are watching who have not yet read it, please give a brief description of the book.
Wow, can that be done?
No.
This is about a woman who's trying to find herself and has to leap through all kinds of crazy things with her own family, a missing or possibly dead brother, a best friend who's a monster, like a terrible person, not an actual monster.
Not an actual monster.
Yeah, so that's really what it's about, someone on a journey to find themselves.
Yes.
And she was disfigured, so she was a model who's disfigured, so her life kind of got flipped upside down. Where the one way she identified herself, now she has to redefine. And
she wasn't just disfigured. Like, I feel like we can say, like, she's missing, like, this whole part of her face. Like, her mouth has become just like a scabby hole that her tongue just kind of, like, lolls out of.
But she does wear, like, very cute, like, veils and wraps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like, she makes it work.
She makes it work. Which is like, I don't know, that's the meaning of life.
Right?
Yes.
Make it work.
Yes.
Like Tim Gunn would say, make it work.
Tim Gunn would love this book.
He would.
Yeah.
There's some fashion in here.
There is some.
Great. Question number 2.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to pick Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk as your Shirtless Dudes Book Club book choice?
There really isn't anything more meaningful than I went to my bookshelf and was like, I love this book. But it's full of his novels, especially the early stuff, like Lullaby and Fight Club and all. They're so good. And this one was just especially like, I also think it's relevant for now when people talk about like even your show here, like the sexiness of it versus like substance and, you know. Yeah, and it's a lot about that here. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was one thing that, just about like Chuck Palahniuk's writing in general, I was doing some research, and most of his books he considers to be transgressive fiction, which basically means that the character is trying to find themselves and build themselves in very strange ways, which definitely happens in this book.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Question number 3. Do you have a favorite passage or scene in this book?
Too many.
I think he has a few.
Too many.
Let's pick one or two.
Yeah, because there's one that I love that you mentioned too.
Yes.
And this one just says, another thing is, no matter how much you think you love somebody, you'll step back when the pool of their blood edges up too close.
Ugh.
I love it. And I think, you know, one thing, I read an interview with him somewhere where he said that he tries to inject in all of his novels some little bits of truth. So it's not just entertainment. It's like something you can hang on to that's like some wise thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that does sound like, it kind of sounds like some sort of like wise old parable or something, but it's actually just like really gross and like kind of creepy.
Well, it's graphic, and you know, I mean, you could break it apart maybe in a million ways. Like the people you love who maybe like aren't bleeding, but maybe they're mean to you in some way or needy, and you want to step away. I don't know. I could go on and on.
There's a lot
I just
of
love
stuff.
it.
Fantastic. Let's talk about another one.
Okay, here's another one. Here's the second one. I'm only on page 16.
Right.
So this is like juicy stuff. And so in this one, the narrator is talking about seeing the picture of a 20-something in the newspaper who was abducted and sodomized and robbed and then killed. And here's a front page picture of her young and smiling. Instead of me dwelling on this being a big sad crime, my gut reaction is, wow, she'd be really hot if she had a nose job. My second reaction is, I'd better have some good head and shoulders shots handy in case I get, you know, abducted. So it's just like, but haven't we all thought that?
Yes.
Haven't we all thought like,
really
I hope they don't use my driver's license picture if I go missing or whatever. I don't know. He taps into truth. I love him.
Yeah, and something about that passage too, just like about the materialism and how everything is wrapped up in image and how so much of how you base your self-worth is based on what other people think of you, and like building that as like making your sense of self out of that stuff, and just like how kind of toxic that is. It leads these characters to do some like really crazy stuff. And another thing about the book that I don't think we really touched on is the fact of how. So a couple weeks ago, I read Slaughterhouse-Five, and for anyone who watched the Shirtless Dudes Book Club of that, we talked about how that book jumped around in time and place a lot. It's nothing compared to this book. Like, this book jumps around, like, in the middle of a sentence. Like, you'll find yourself, you know, a week earlier in a different state. And so it is kind of hard to keep track of at the beginning, but then it gets to a point where it's just like, you're jumping around this journey so much, and it's also a great device because he'll drop, like, it'll start and you'll see the characters this way, and then he'll drop a bomb and you see them in an entirely different light, and then, but it's all stuff that has happened previously, like in the chronology of the story. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yes, and all of his books are works of art like that. So there's another one that's a plane crash, and page 1 is page 300, and then you count down, you know, in page 100. And in this one, because she was a model in the fashion industry, he wanted it to read like a fashion magazine.
Yes.
Where you're used to flipping the pages and going to this article and that article.
Yeah.
So it just is really thoughtful and fun, and it is like riding a bullet. Like you're out of the gate.
I read this
things
book
are going down
in 3 days because I couldn't put it down because I kept on wanting to know what the hell was happening and like where it was going. So great choice.
Yay!
Fantastic. Question number 4. This is the last one.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
I'm panicking.
I mean, you should. Byron Lane.
Yeah.
You have 30 seconds to a minute I'm not actually timing. I don't time this. Convince the people at home why they need to read this book.
All right, this is not just a fun ride. It doesn't just start with, like we said, a gunshot where you're just flying by the seat of your pants. It's also really wise. And there are such great messages in here about who you are and your identity, and I don't know, I love it. Like, one thing that they say in here is something like, you shouldn't base your self-worth, like a car is a car. But why do we look at our bodies and our lives and think that they should be something other than they are? And I don't know, I just love all that stuff.
That's really nice. It is like a very, for as crazy, for as batshit insane as it is, like, it does have a lot of really interesting things to actually say, and that are very relevant to life.
And if you like edgy stuff, this is your guy.
It's it. She's edgy.
She's edgy.
She's an edgy book.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
This was like
Thank you
super
for having
fun.
me. No, good to see you.
No, don't leave.
I was just
gonna give you a hug. Don't sneak out. Stay. Stay right here.
All right.
So you guys definitely check out his web series, Last Will and Testicle.
Oh, thanks.
It's hilarious, and like it's not long. Like, you can watch it.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, you can watch that.
You got this.
And I'm also gonna put a link below for you to check out, because it was really good. But anyway, Byron, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
You guys at home, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Tune in next week. Bye.